What's up, guys? Don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Feel free to also join my Discord, chat with me. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, guys. Let's get to it. Alright, guys. So today we're going to be going over the... how do I put it? The Necromancer ability, passives, and Morse. I got permission to use this from RubenSky. And this is his website. I'm actually going to link this specific link down below in the comment section. Or in the description. Let's ignore that. You never saw that. So that way he gets credit where it's due. So yes, this is his website. Everything that we got here is on Outcast's websites and skill book and all that. So we're going to be going through this, and we're going to be kind of passively reading a lot of this information. And I just want to say right now that I kind of skimmed through it earlier, and there's a few things that caught my attention that I didn't like, and you'll see why here below. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some of this stuff, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to this. Like I said, I had permission from RubenSky, the creator of this website, to actually go in and use his site, the information he gathered, and talk about it with you guys today. So he also has a video on YouTube, guys. I'm going to link his YouTube and his website for you guys as well. Just to give him, like I said, credit where it's due. Okay, let's go ahead and get to this information. Necromancer, Masters of Death. Necromancers can call upon corpses to serve as undead thralls and weave ghastly spells to both harm and heal. So we got the Gravelord line, which is your offensive line. You got the Bone Tyrant, which is your defensive line. So like your resist buffs, etc. And you got your Living Death, which is pretty much the healing line. So they're all kind of separated. Makes sense. 3 different categories. You got DPS, tank, and heals. Like I said, makes sense. So what he's saying here is that all of this information can be changed. And the reason why I'm reviewing it is because I do want to talk to you guys about some of the things that are here. I want to kind of show the people that follow my content, my perspective, and some of my opinions on some of this stuff. Okay, so we got Gravelord. This is an ultimate ability. And it says it summons... or unleashes, sorry, a frostbitten flesh colossus to pulverize enemies in the area. This thing smashes the ground multiple times, about 3, to deal frost damage with the E smash. And this is what was kind of throwing me off. So it applies minor vulnerability. So imagine popping this ult and CCing your group. And I'm looking at this for PvP perspective, sorry. Imagine CCing them with a Dawnbreaker right before like this goes off, or like even right afterwards, and just having hard hitting steel nados and Dawnbreakers after this happens, man. This is almost like a Zerg buster, but this can also be utilized horribly against small scale groups. That's just insane, man. Imagine you getting constantly rooted, because this class does come with a 50% snare root. And we already have lots of roots and snares in the game. But this is, yeah, this is insane. It's a long range, 28 meters. The radius itself is 8 meters. It costs 2 seconds. It costs 150. Or last 2 seconds, sorry. So, we got both effects here. One basically turns into disease damage, which increasingly each smash, the little AoE smash that it deals, is increased damage. The magical one basically makes the third smash a stun, a CC. But they both give major, and yet again I'm gonna say this again, major vulnerability. 3 seconds. That's insane. 30% increased damage. That's insane. So that's the ultimate for the Gravelord's skill line. So let's start looking at some of the skills here. So active ability, Flame Skull. Lob an explosive skull at the enemy, dealing flame damage. Every third cast of this ability deals 20% increased damage. This kind of reminds me of Spectral Bow, how you had to proc 4 light attacks to get your bow. Is a 5 now. 5 little attacks to get your bow proc. So you could actually potentially do a burst combo with this. Like, that's all I can say. Like, you just do your third cast and you're like, alright, my third cast is going to be the hard hitting one. Let's cast 2 and let's do a D-swing right into Flame Skull. Execute. Boom. Done. Because there is one that converts to a stamina ability. And check this out. Casting any Necromancer ability counts towards the third cast. So, any other ability here. Doesn't have to be Flame Skull. It can be Blast Bones underneath us, for example. It could be the Major Ward and you know, the Major Resist one. As long as it's a Necromancer skill. So that's pretty insane. And now we have the magical version of this. This deals flame damage, and third cast of the skull will bounce to other nearby enemies. So up to 2 other enemies. And yet again, that's the third cast. That one says magical, this one says stamina. So what Outcast was actually saying was that they didn't have lots of stab morphs of some of these abilities. So a lot of the class reps and some of the other people that were under this little program to test some of these abilities were basically, he said, QQing to give Necro some more stab morphs. So that's pretty neat. I'm glad we have a stam ability right there off the back. Alright, so now we got Blast Bones. Summon a flaming skeleton from the ground after 2.5 seconds. What does that mean? It just summons and waits, or what? The skeleton runs after the target. Okay. Gets close to them. Yelling Bonsai. Okay, it does it. Okay, I didn't see that. That's funny. Yelling Bonsai! Alright. Dealing blah 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 damage to nearby enemies. Flame damage. And it creates a corpse. And you know, corpse can be almost like, there's another ability where you could kind of repent. It's a sustainability. We'll get to that later. Cast time instant. It's 28 meters range, which is pretty long. Imagine timing that with the snipe or like a Warden Shock or something. It's 2.5 seconds. And it's initially a stab ability. Is that right? Alright, looks like it. Alright. Skeleton disease deals disease damage to all enemies nearby. But this is a major defile. This is one of the abilities I was like, oh. Like, defile's strong, but this is an AoE defile. But even though, you know, it has to hit you, etc., it has to run towards you. It's just, when you're getting XP1 down, bro, like, this is the ultimate XP1 class from what I've seen so far. This is crazy. Pretty unique abilities. I like it. I like it. And now let's look at the other one. So it's basically the same thing. I'm assuming, because it says flame damage, but then it says cost. So I'm assuming they could cost this much stamina or magical based on the morph. I'm assuming the first one is the stamina, obviously, because it's a disease, and this one stays the flame damage, which is the magical. So it just deals more damage, up to 70% based on distance traveled. We got Boneyard, next ability. Desecrate the ground of the target location, dealing blah 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 frost damage over 10 seconds. So this is pretty much what I'm assuming is your like PvE DPS rotation ability. So I am assuming we get, or it stays Magicka both ways. So let's just read it. I'm tripping. Yeah, it costs 3.5k Magicka. So one version applies Major Breach. That's going to be nice, reducing their spell and physical. Wait, it's both. Major Breach and Fracture. Okay, that's pretty nice. While the other one allows you to use your own synergy. And when you use your own synergy, let's see. Okay, so you could use your own synergy and you could deal an extra frost damage to the enemies in the area, and it heals you for what you did. Alright, so now we have a Skeletal Mage. This one is unearth a Skeletal Mage from the dirt, defied by his life for 16 seconds. The mage attacks. I wonder if this procs are like a Necromancer set. Speaking of Necromancer set. Necropolitans, I meant. Mage attacks closest enemy every 2 seconds, dealing shock damage. Oh, shock damage, okay. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So we have, this is the stat morph. This is one of the things that Outcast was talking about, because he said the other morph for this previously was complete trash. So now it's an archer that shoots every 2 seconds that deals physical damage. Instead of a mage, he'll go from mage to archer. Pretty neat. its next attack will do 10% more damage than the previous attack. Converts into a stamina ability. Okay, so it's almost it's like the Venomous Claw a little bit from DK from Dragon Knight. The damage increases with each tick. This is what this pretty much is. A ranged version, so it might not hit as hard. And we got Exploding Mage. If the mage lasts its full duration, deals shock damage to enemies around it. Outcast was saying that this was completely useless. This new morph, he was saying that this is a ranged ability. What the hell is going to stay around it? See what I'm saying? And these are, let's see, what is this one? Shocking Siphon. Violently drain the last spark of life from a corpse, dealing shock damage over 12 seconds between you and the corpse. Okay, so I'm assuming you're going to be able to move around and kind of walk around with a chain on you. So it was pretty interesting. Anything between the dead body or, you know, the corpse and the chain, you know, just deals damage. Morphs will be added very soon. Okay, that's fine. Actually, where we at? We're about here. Let me just refresh, because he said he was going through this while I was actually reading through this. But let's see if he updated anything. Yeah, it wasn't added yet. Okay. Passive abilities. These are the passives, guys, for this, what's it called exactly? It's like Gravelord or something? Gravelord? Yeah. Gravelord passives. Reusable parts. When an enemy dies within 4 seconds of being damaged by one of your Necromancer abilities, your next Blast Bones, Skeletal Mage, or Spirit Mender cast is free. Wow, okay. That's some big sustain there. Imagine that in PvE, because, you know, ads, NPCs, whatever you want to call them, already die from like light attacks, man. Alright, so Death Knell. Increase your critical strike chance against enemies under 25% HP by 10% for each. Okay, so that's potentially like, what, 50 or 60? So, yeah, you could potentially break 100% crit chance, and yeah, they're not surviving that if everything's critting. That's honestly insane. That is insane. Don't know how that's going to work against shields, because if I recall, shields can no longer be crit again, even though resistances are now applied to them. I guess we'll see. While Gravelord ability is active, December, sorry. While Gravelord ability is active, your spell and physical penetration is increased by a bit. Okay, so it's a damage boost. And we got Rapid Rot. Increases your damage done with damage over time effects by 10%. So I'm assuming this dot damage, obviously it's good PvE stuff if you look at like Blood Craze, etc. But I'm sure the Skeletal Mage, for example, because it's every 2 seconds and it's a tick of damage, I'm assuming that gets buffed as well. The Shocking Siphon gets buffed. Yeah, okay, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. All right, and these are the offensive passives as well. All right, so this is, you know, the more defensive skill line. I remember Bislobo. I was just watching his stream, so that's why it's up in the top left corner. If y'all don't know who that is, amazing person, and he's a pretty badass dude. Anyways, back to these skills. Okay, so Bone Tyrant, like I said, this is defensive skill line. First thing we're gonna look at is the ultimate ability, Bone Goliath Transformation. Okay, so a lot of people were hype about this because they're like, yo, you're gonna be able to turn into a big ass skeleton. And like, okay, cool. That's pretty neat. But now we get to see what it does so far. Become a horrific Bone Goliath, of course. Increases your max HP by 30,000. Yes, this is not a mistake from everything I've gathered. This does increase your HP by 30k for only 20 seconds. But you immediately restore 30,000 health while transformed, which is insane. Your light attacks restore 2.6k HP, and your fully charged heavy attacks restore double the amount. That is, it's pretty insane. But from what I saw, your damage in this is doo-doo. I could be wrong. I was just seeing people saying that, like, sounds amazing. Could be more amazing. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But, I thought this was going to be like a toggle ability too. Kind of like what Bislobo was saying, but I guess not. But yeah, it costs 300 ultimate, but it lasts 20 seconds. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll see in the future. But this is what they got so far. And we also got the 2 morphs. So now you get an AoE bash attack with 1 morph. And the other morph, you gain an aura that drains nearby enemies of their health. So yeah, like I said, it's a super tanky set. Imagine this with like Plague Doctor and like... Okay, this Plague Doctor and what's that set that gives you the major vitality? From Wayrest Sewers? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. There's a little beam. Oh my god, imagine the tanks. And these are the active abilities. Yeah, so this is the first ability in this skill line. So this is Death Scythe. Slice into your enemy's life force, dealing magic damage, and you heal for 25% of the damage. You heal for 25% of your maximum HP. Okay, for the first enemy hit. And 3% for each other enemy that you hit, up to 5 enemies. Okay, that's pretty interesting. It's like a cleave heal damage ability. And I was looking at this and... yeah, I think this is pretty AIDS. Stab version of this. Enemies damage you okay, let me read this correctly. Enemies damaged by you receive 2,000 heal absorption for 2 seconds. Negating heal they receive. First of all, if this is stacked while you're XP1ing someone, this is fucked. Second, tell me this ain't Soldier of Anguish. Y'all remember that set? Soldier of Anguish? I know y'all remember that. I know y'all remember this. I know y'all do. Look at this. 25% chance to place a ring on the ground that explodes after 1.25 seconds before. It was a little different. It was more AIDS. But this applies health absorption as well, which stops healing. It literally negates healing. And they're like, you know what? Let's add this 5-piece in the stab morph. Like, okay. Really, bro? Alright. Yeah, that's fucked. Swift Scythe. After dealing damage, you heal an additional 10% of HP. Cool. Over the next 5 seconds. So you just gain a hot for that one. And now we got Bone Armor. This is your resistance buff. This is Major Resolve and Major Ward. Pretty self-explanatory. Use it. Boom. Get your buff. One morph pulls in ranged enemies, and I heard it does give them CC immunity. So yeah, you know, I'll use Stamplars and other classes using Silver Leash right now. Yeah, don't worry. Just go to Necromancer. You have your own little Silver Leash. And then the other morph is Beneficent Armor, and it reduces the cost of your Necromancer summon ability. So like Skeletal Mage, for example. Yeah, Skeletal Mage, Skeletal Bomber, Skeletal Mender by 12%. That's insane. Now we also got Kirin Cadaver. I said that wrong. Whatever. English is weird. Sap the lingering life from fresh corpses, healing you for 2.9k damage, etc. An additional 75% health per additional corpse. Okay. So on one more, if you get major protection for each corpse you consume. Okay. And you know that reduces damage by 30%. That's insane. And the other one, you gain ultimate per corpse. 5 ultimate per corpse. That's pretty nice. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, imagine you going in with the ult with your group, and you know, Dawnbreaker, Steel Needle, Warden, Try Hard Boys, whatever. I've run it too. Whatever. This is a free cost ability, bro. So after you drop all your Dawnbreakers and stuff, bro, bam, got your ultimate back, bro. Easy clap. Bone Totem. Place a totem of bone at your feet that gives minor protection to you and your allies for 8 seconds. So that works like the, what is it, Lord Warden Dex set, similar to that, except this is an ability, costs 4k magicka. And now there's one that makes the range to 28 meters, and there's another one that gives a pure agony synergy, and this one damages them and applies minor vulnerability. Magic damage over 5 seconds. Let me correct that before I give you guys false information. Yeah, that's what we got so far for that. Meh. Anyways, Grave Grasp. Okay. Summon 3 patches of skeletal claws from the ground in front of you. Snaring your enemies. More snares in this game. ESO is ESO, right? The S stands for snare. Just letting you guys know. So, snares your enemies by 50% for 5 seconds and inflicts minor maim. Okay, I didn't see that. But it reduces their damage done by 15%. Oh my god. It's a target area and it lasts 1 second. Costs almost 4k magic. A little expensive. So let's look at the morphs. Empowering Grasp. Hitting you or your allies grants some power for 56 seconds, increasing the effect of their next light attack, which honestly no one cares about that. Hitting your skeletal mage or spirit mender enhances them for 5 seconds, increases their effectiveness by 40%. Yeah, whatever. Clutching Grasp. Each patch can immobilize one enemy for 4 seconds. New effect. Ability now immobilizes enemies. So, this was the ability they're talking about earlier. This fears them if you use that. I could be wrong. Fears them in place unless I was reading another ability. But yeah, that's what we were discussing earlier as well. So let's look at the passive abilities. We got Death Gleaning with a Bone Tyrant ability slotted whenever an enemy you are in combat with dies within 28 meters, restore 100 magic and stamina. So it's a little bit of sustain back while people are dying around you. And we got Disdain Harm. So reduce the damage you take from dots while you have a bone. Okay. So you take 10% less dot damage while you have a Bone Tyrant ability active. So if you have that that armor effect, boom, you get 10% damage mitigation from dots. Pretty neat. This increases. So this next one, Health Everence, increases your healing received by 2% per Bone Tyrant ability slotted. And Last Grasp, increase max HP by 2k. Cool. Okay, Living Death. Ultimate abilities, Reanimate. I don't like this ability. I really don't. Bring your allies back from the brink of death, resurrecting up to 3 allies at the target location. As if bashing reses weren't hard enough when you're running around killing people. Have to bash the healers, doing that stuff. Now they can just, cast Reanimate. Just res the targets. Hello, 80k HP tank. Welcome back, and you're in the game. Welcome back, Snipe Spammer hitting snipes for 18k. Oh, welcome back, Heavy Armor, Troking, Bleed, Stamina character. Welcome back, guys. Y'all are revived. Okay, now let's look at... Wow, okay, this is insane right here. You restore 5,300 magic and stamina for each ally you resurrect. That's insane. That's one of the morphs renewing, and now let's look at the Animate. Animate Blast Bones. You consume up to 3 other corpses in the area and summon blast bones for each corpse consumed. You can consume other corpses in the area. So it looks like we res and then we get 3 additional little pets that come out or something. I don't know. Doesn't necessarily say added effect. We'll see though, guys. Active abilities, Render Flesh. First skill, sacrifice your own power to repair damaged flesh, healing you or an ally in front of you for 1.2k health, but this applies a minor defile to yourself, so it reduces your healing and your HP recovery by 15%. So the first morph, you grant the target spell and physical resistance equal to half the amount healed for 3 seconds. So grants resistances to the target equal to half the amount healed. So I guess if you heal for 2k, you get 1k resist. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know if it's going to be split in half by Battle Spirit, because if you're healing for 2k in PvE, that means you're only healing for 1k in PvP. Maybe you only get half of that resist back. You see what I'm saying? Now the other morph, consume a corpse near you when you cast a heal to a second target. So the effect, consume a corpse to heal a second target. Okay. Expunge, like expunge. Embrace the power of death, removing up to 3 negative effects. a free purge and restoring 3k magic over 5 seconds. So this is a purge, and cast time's instant. Target, your target yourself cost is none. Didn't show any cost when he got this information. So now let's look at Vivify Morph. You also restore 1k magic or stamina over 5 seconds, whichever one is lower. So you restore your main attribute, and then you also restore a third of your other attribute. So if you're a Magicka class, you get your Magicka. You get 3k Magicka. If you're a Stamina class, you get 3k Stamina. And then of course you get your 1k of the other attribute. And don't ask if you have them exactly the same. Anyways. So the other one is modify. You restore 10% more resources for each negative effect you remove. So this can go up to like what, 30, 33 or something? I don't know. Another 30%, another 1k, 4k. Okay, cool. You restore more resources for each negative effect removed. Okay, yeah, take that, Siege Boys. Give me resources. Life, Emma, Death. Release fragments of fallen souls at the target location, healing you and your allies for etc. health. Consume a corpse, cast and continue to heal you and your allies in the area for blah 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 health over 5 seconds. Okay. So it's a ground targeted ability. It's a heal. Pretty good range. Radius is about 8 meters. 3.5k magic is the cost. Undeath. Morph. Let's check this out. Consumes a corpse on cast and immediately removes up to 3 negative effects and continues to heal you and your allies for blah 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 HP over 5 seconds. Oh wow, so that's even more healing. So it just adds a purge essentially. And the second one is you can consume multiple corpses to increase the duration of the heal over time. Okay, so up to 5 more, which increases the so you can get up to 25% extra heal time on this ability. Spirit Mender, conjure a ghastly spirit to do your bidding and stay by your side for 16 seconds. So you lonely ass people, there you go. The spirit heals you or the lowest health ally around you for 2 seconds, restoring blah 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 health. So looks like it's not a big heal. When it dies, it creates a corpse. And that synchronizes well with some of the passives and the other active abilities. Now let's look at the Spirit Ward more. While active, 10% of the damage you take is transferred to the spirit instead. Oh, okay. And let's look at the other morph. It says of Mender. The spirit heals you or the lowest health ally around you every 2 seconds, restoring an additional. Looks like the tooltip's higher than previous. Yeah, more health. The spirit heals for 3 times the amount, but lasts half as long. Okay. Bash to heal. The heal doesn't last as long. Interesting. Kind of like the rapid regen versus mutagen thing. So let's look at this restoring tether ability now. Siphon. Or yeah, siphon the last remnants of a corpse, healing you for almost 3k HP over 12 seconds. Healing. Okay, so this is like a healing version of the other lighting ability we saw earlier. So it's like a chain between you and the corpse, and it heals instead of damages. Cost 3.2k. Now braided tether. Each ally between you and the corpse increases the healing done by 5% up to a maximum of 30%. So this just increases the healing done based on how many people are there between you and the corpse. Adjust tether. The closer you are to the tether, the more healing is done. Up to a maximum of 30% more healing if you are right next to the corpse. New effect increases the healing done based on how close you are to the corpse. Okay, so I guess instead of having more allies, it just increases more healing if you're closer to it. Now let's look at the passive abilities. Curative Curse. Well, you have a negative effect on you. Your healing is done by 8%. Okay. Healing done is increased by 8%. Near-death experience. While you have a living death ability, slaughter, your critical strike chance with all healing abilities is increased up to 20% in proportion to the severity of the target's wound. So the lower HP they are, the higher crit chance you have with healing abilities to that target. Corpse consumption. When you use an ability on a corpse, you generate 10 ultimate. What the hell? This effect can occur every 16 seconds. Okay, I was like, yo, that's insane. Undead Confederate. While you have a Necromancer summon active, your magicka and stamina recovery is increased by 300. Flat amount. Okay. So these are fine. These are alright. The only things that are questionable to me are the res. I think this res, like if... How to put it? I think if you get rezzed, you shouldn't be rezzed again after that or something like that. Like, I don't know. There has to be some sort of timer or something because I get it. Let's see the ultimate cost for this. I kind of get it. It's just that in PvP, this is going to be so fucked. Damn this chair. So that's questionable. Let's see what else. The scythe ability was really questionable because it gives you heal absorption, which negates your healing. I don't like that. Bone tire, I just don't know how this works. Someone tells me how this works. I read this like 5 times and I was just like, yeah, okay, question mark. But other than that, man, it looks pretty interesting. There's definitely a caster style and there's definitely a melee style for this, or even a stamp style. You can picture like a D swing into a flame skull, or a D swing into one of those scythe attacks, or like D swing Dawnbreaker into a scythe into an execute, or something like that. But yeah, guys, it's going to be pretty much everything. I went over everything, just kind of told you guys what we had going on. I was going to crop and make pictures, but I didn't want to do that because this isn't necessarily my content. So yeah, so this is RubenSky's website, guys. It's learnesl.net. And he's also a Twitch streamer, and he gave me permission to use his site and make a video about it and post it on YouTube. But yeah, there you go, guys. That was pretty much everything. Thoughts? Yeah, let me know what you think. This is pretty interesting. I don't agree with some of the stuff here. I would love to be able to test and sit down in theorycraft. But yeah, we're not sure until we get that PTS. I have no idea what's going to be changed. No idea what is going to even like stay, because some of the stuff is really awkward. Yeah, guys, that's everything. And yeah, y'all have a good day. Okay, so I found a quick link from one of my friends. It's Cyrodiil Changes real quick. Just want to read this since this is coming out with elsewhere. Cyrodiil will also, in addition to PvE content, get some love from Zeus. As a completely new introduction, there would be artifacts in Cyrodiil. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about that. These are unique in the way that only one player at a time can have them each campaign, but not unique at all as artifacts. Okay, it's because each campaign only has one. Okay, throughout Cyrodiil, it'll basically tell you when the artifact shows up. There are no fixed spawn points. The artifact can happen to appear somewhere, so I guess it's just random. When a player picks up this powerful weapon, he gains new powerful abilities and he can even break down walls. Okay, interesting. This power has one drawback. You must feed the weapon with AP. So okay, so you get this massive power, but the downside is that instead of selling your AP, you use your AP for that. These artifacts are meant to bring more spice to Cyrodiil so that battles for, okay, yeah. So people will fight for these artifacts. Zos will test it with, they're going to test one artifact soon in another campaign. At the same time, the Imperial City will be separated from the campaigns and there will be a separate Imperial City campaign. This should improve their activity at the same time. Relive Cyrodiil's performance. Okay. So they're separating it down. I'm sure a lot of us know about that. So the Nightblade is being balanced. So they took out 8% damage bonus for Nightblades. So that was pretty lame. Something that I was looking for. I heard there was Cyrodiil locks. Oh wait, the ability to join a campaign as a guest will also be removed. There will be changes to the Emperor system and alliance locked campaigns. That is the lamest shit Sauce has ever done. If that is legit, that is the lamest, worthless, stupid idea ever. Like, honestly speaking, guys, I main DC. I pretty much get fights on DC all the time, but I also have friends on EP. If this locks our alliance, this is awful. If you, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I want to be able to switch whenever I want. Not all of us work for the campaign. I go in there with some friends just to go have fun. We don't care about the scoreboards. We don't care about none of that. At the end of the day, we are still killing PvPers. That's what we go in. That's what we go to do. I'm not a fan of this. I have friends on EP that I like to play with sometimes because they moved from DC a while back, and I don't talk to them as often because they switched to EP. But I would still love to be able to PvP with them every now and then in a campaign. But what I'm saying is, even though we're not necessarily helping out with scoring while we're small scaling in Cyrodiil or whatever we're doing, we're still killing players. While we're killing players, we're still distracting them from taking other keeps. We're distracting them from taking resources. We're distracting them from defending keeps. We're distracting them from taking scrolls, etc. While we are fighting that target, that player, they're being distracted by fighting us back instead of doing the campaign-based objectives. So I don't like this. I think this is something that should not be a thing. Alliance lock campaigns, I don't know what they plan on doing, but I do not agree with that. We'll have to see what that is, but I do not agree with that with 1%. I don't care who QQs on the forums. This is not something that should be done. And just like usual, guys, follow me on Twitch. Hit me up for them live updates, guys. Feel free to join my Discord as well. Link will be in the description. And if you like this video, like and subscribe. It means a lot, guys. Appreciate y'all support, and thank you so much.